So me and Pushing Weight, the owner of Pushing Weight, we sat out on the balcony and decided, let's do something together. So like, what could we do? We came up with the concept for the Push the World Tour, which is what we do every year.
Okay.
Push the World Tour is an event where we saw at events where you had the athletes competing, the highlighted athletes competing or whatever else, but everybody else was just standing around. It was like, all these people could be doing something. They should be doing something. It could be an introduction to calisthenics for them. Yeah. Whether it's a parent watching a kid or a sibling, a spouse, or whatever it was, there was something that they can do. So we decided to start a Push the World Tour where you can earn points for the prizes at the table that Pushing Weight brings. Yeah. You can do whatever exercise you are capable of doing, and our staff can encourage you to do. The very first one we did was in Chicago. I contacted a group out there, met up with them, and then we did 2 locations in Chicago. One that was their local park near a school, and then one in downtown Chicago where I met up with a friend of Mari and then his local. And that was kickoff of the Push the World Tour. Then we went right back to the Bronx and did the bigger tour, and it was a hit. Wow. So we went from a small group in Chicago to a big group in New York, and then we wound up going to DR. Pushing Weight itself has been to Africa. They've been to Ghana. They've been to Haiti. So this tour and what we've created has been a beautiful thing for me. But again, it's just one of the many things that makes me me. Right. But I'm gonna keep it short from here, and you'll probably get the rest of the history as you ask the questions.
One question off of that topic: what was the year of the first competition in Chicago?
I want to say it's about 2013.
And we're filming this 2025 right now.
I might be wrong. It might have been earlier than that, but I would say around 2013, because in 2012 we started Brotherhood, which is the group that we started in 161.
Gotcha.
Right, which was Brotherhood is a group. The name actually came from Scott Bernhardt, who grew up in that area also. And if anybody knows that area of the Bronx by 161, Brotherhood is what we call that every sport in that area. And then they moved Yankee Stadium across the street, so it was a potential for that lineage to disappear. When Scott said, let's call it Brotherhood, it made sense, because that's what we call all the basketball organizations, all the team. Everybody knew that area as Brotherhood, and that expands over to Rucker Park also. The history, if you look up the name Brotherhood, it actually started in Harlem and around the Rucker Park area, but based around basketball games and stuff like that, and sporting events. So we kept that history by naming our team Brotherhood. And anybody that comes and works out at 161 and made yourself a positive impact to that community, you were considered part of Brotherhood. Wow. Men and women. The name just represented the historic name for the area. Then we made it. A group of roots. So we have a set of Brotherhood requirements that made you an official Brotherhood member. Yep. To this date, there are 6 official Brotherhood members. I might be the numbers off, but there's at least 6. Okay. That means they completed all these requirements. They're not easy requirements. Right. So Akeem Supreme has one. Me, a friend Mike, a guy named Omari, he lives in Chicago, Miguel from 161, and a couple other people. But these requirements is still a litmus test. If you can even accomplish most of them, it makes you a better athlete than anything else, because people like Dark Knight failed it twice. Scott failed it twice. But these guys are elite athletes. Gotcha. They're elite athletes, so they still are able to win other competitions, even though they haven't completed the requirements, but they're able to get through a significant part of those requirements.
So when it comes to your personal fitness journey, how much has Marcus Garvey Park played a significant impact in that?
Oh, Marcus Garvey, just like every single historical calisthenic park there is, I'd say there's 5 about 5 meccas of calisthenics in New York. Which one is that? To me, which is St. Mary's, first and foremost, because it was the first ever competition, followed by Lincoln Terrace. The legendary Pull-Up Park Jam, 5Bs, which is the same competition. They just renamed it to Pull-Up Park Jam. Wingate Park, TSP, Tompkins Square Park, and Brotherhood, which is home base for us. Those are my meccas of calisthenics, because all throughout the years, this is where everybody would go.
to meet all of the top people in calisthenics when it first started out. And still to this day, these are legendary parks. There's been legendary athletes that have come out. There's been legendary competitions that I'm happy to say that I've been part of and won plenty trophies from those locations, except Tompkins Square Park. Never competed in Tompkins Square Park, but definitely had some legendary workouts there.
Dope. Okay, so you gave us the history about pushing weight. One of my questions coming into this was if you were the creator of pushing weight, because I see you as the main promoter, the face of pushing weight.
Yeah, so it's a popular misconception, but it's one that I accept because, like I said, I met pushing weight at the very first calisthenic event.
Yeah.
They were already a sponsor, and they have been in existence for at least 5 years prior to that. Pushing Weight doesn't only sponsor calisthenic events; they sponsor bodybuilding competitions also, and then, like I said, youth events and numerous other fitness events that they're part of. Brand has been around for many years, and again, it's a black-owned business.
Right.
And I was like, it's a no-brainer for me to support them because I have no problem supporting a black-owned business. For the most part, I was just getting shirts based on wins that I was getting at first, and then they would give me shirts for events to the point where we make money together now. We create events. Including the one at NYU, which they brought me in to host. Because now I've been hosting a lot of events for them, just under the Pushing Weight name. So when people say, "Don't you own Pushing Weight?" I take that as a badge of honor because I respect the brand enough to say that I treat it like it's mine.
Wow, that's awesome. So how much has the collective economics played a positive factor in your life? Because now you're making money off of something that you love to do.
Yeah, it's the money made with Pushing Weight is second thought. I'm more about building the community, the awareness of the brand itself, and pushing it as much as possible. The money will always come. Money comes and goes. I'm not worried about that part of it. I'm more willing to help the brand succeed over just seeing a monetary return. I almost forgot one thing too. I never mentioned Marcus Garvey Park.
Now you kept that one out of the 5.
I kept it out of the 5, but it does belong there. So it's actually 6 because, again, the first legendary parks, I also can include Lenox, right on 145th.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's one park because it's closer to where I lived. When I come across that bridge, that was always the first stop there. But this one more than that one.
Yeah.
Just because this one always had more equipment. That one's one little piece, but it holds a special part in my heart for its calisthenic history because I had a lot of great workouts there. I worked out with Dr. G, man, rest in peace, and Sarge, who's a key person here at Marcus Garvey Park, who introduced what you call the RipSticks now.
Okay.
The original ones. I forgot the real name of them, wow. But when he introduced me to that and told me to try to get my fingers between them, that was an experience in itself. So there's been a lot of legendary peoples in Harlem, but I met them all here, including Tech, needless to say, my boy Tech from Barbarian. Just realized that I left Garvey out.
I was like, all right, maybe the other ones, you like those other parks more?
Yeah, no, Garvey's always. We used to call it, original name, Mount Morris.
Mount Morris?
Mount Morris Park is what Tech always called it.
Yeah.
And all the originators, they always called it Mount Morris Park. Before everybody called it Garvey, and then it became Lions.
Why Mount Morris?
Because that's actually the name of this park.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's actually Mount Morris Park.
Got it.
Yeah, so it was on the sign. I believe it's still here. Like the old OGs still remember that Mount Morris Park. Yeah. It should be on the sign somewhere around here still.
Okay.
Because I believe that's Mount Morris.
Got you.
Right,
yeah, that makes
behind
sense.
us. Yeah. So it's Mount Morris Park here in Marcus Garvey Park, but it was always called Mount Morris. And then it became more known as Marcus Garvey Park, Garvey, and then Lions there.
Copy. So how long has this area looked like this with the equipment? Because most people don't see weights and calisthenics out in the open like that.
I think that the weights started popping up like late 90s. There would be a couple things. Wow. And the 2000s, there would be more things that would always be donated. This park and Wingate Park both have those containers with a bunch of weight and both some equipment in it, that outside equipment in it. They've been maintaining that for many years, which is a rarity in New York because you can't do this in many parks. You have to have the infrastructure to do so. So as long as you got one of those bins, I'm glad that we have one in Harlem because otherwise we have to go all the way to Ringgate.
It's 2 hours.
And it's pretty much the same kind of thing. Some donated equipment that people can still use, and then you get to work your body in different ways than you would with their calisthenics equipment. And again, this is one of the older parks that's been around for a very, very long time.
You said the 90s. That could have been before I was born.
This park has definitely been here since I want to say 80s, but it might be earlier than that. It might even be earlier than that. Bring that research again.
Dope.